Hi everybody, today I'm going to be talking about cord cutting. So what do you know about cords, and have you tried cutting your own cords before? Let's have a look at what I understand cord cutting to be about and see if it might help you. So what on earth are cords? Well, they are etheric cords, also known as etheric cords, which are energy cords, and these energy cords can be very, very fine, like the hairs on your head, or they can be quite thick. In fact, they can manifest in lots and lots of different ways. Sometimes you might have cords that are appearing to be quite twisted and metallic in nature. They might be a different colour, a different texture, a different appearance. They might literally look like a rope or a cord, or they might not. They could be in any kind of representation, really. So be really, really open when you're thinking about cords, because part of the way that cords manifest might be relevant in terms of how you're going to release them. So be really, really open to that. Don't just think of them appearing in one particular way. So these energy cords are there because we are connected to stuff. That was probably quite easy to work out, but yeah. So they kind of connect you or tie you to people, to situations, to old places. You can get them attaching you to places. You can get them attaching you to circumstances as well. A family drama, for example, or maybe a work situation. So anything energetic, everything is energy, so anything energetic and vibrational can send out a cord, or you can cord yourself to it. And you might be thinking now, well, why would I cord myself to something? You won't be doing it deliberately. It'll be because there's an aspect of you that isn't ready to let go, that isn't ready to move on, that hasn't processed stuff, that hasn't learned a lesson. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing it deliberately. In fact, most of the time when we cord, it's because we don't know. And I would say that for those of us who are on a spiritual path and those of us who aren't. So what happens when you've got a cord? Well, cords can appear anywhere at all in your energy system. They will quite classically appear in chakras, and again, that gives you a heads up on what the cord is about, who it might be to, or the situation that it's to, and gives you more information. So obviously, if it's a throat chakra cord, it's going to be something about truth, about authenticity, about maybe speaking your truth, that kind of thing, communication. If it's your heart, it's likely to be something emotional, something heart-centered, perhaps a relationship issue. I always think as well that cords that come in at the front are ones that we are usually quite aware of, and ones that come in the back are normally quite sneaky. Again, people don't necessarily know when they're sending you cords. Cords are a manifestation of a bad vibe, is the way that I would put it. So if someone's got an issue with you, if someone's sending you a bad vibe, they might not even be doing this intentionally. They might just be hurt by you or pissed off with you. They might be sending you this vibe, and that can manifest as a cord. So be really, really open-minded when you think about any energy work. And the thing that I say as well is take what resonates with you, take what's right for you. So if you feel like you're picking up something that would feel like a cord, it's likely to be that, and that's okay. But again, if the idea of cords doesn't resonate with you, this isn't for you, and that's totally fine. I generally find that if I'm corded to a person or a place or a situation, that I feel depleted, that I feel out of sorts, that I don't feel like myself. Sometimes you can find that being corded stops you from moving on. Say, for example, you had a house that you were trying to sell and you just simply could not sell it and you could not move on with your life. That might be because you're attached energetically to that house, and it might be that you need to cut cords with it. It might be that there's an aspect of you that's frightened of moving on or unwilling to move on, or there might be some unfinished business. It could be lots and lots of different things, but if the cord is there, then you're going to struggle to move forwards. Likewise, if it's a situation, even a historical situation, even if it's something way back in the past that has happened that you haven't been able to forgive, that you haven't been able to release or process, that can also end up being corded to you. And I like the idea of, well, I don't like the idea of being coded, but I like the idea of thinking about it tying us to a weight in the past and dragging us back, because that gives us that motivation to release it and let go. And then there's a lovely image, isn't there, of us taking flight after we've let go of a heavy weight. Probably the most common codes are those coding us to other people, especially exes, frenemies, people at work we don't like, and people that we've generally had an interaction with that hasn't been positive. And what you can find is that not only do these deplete you, because in codes the energy can work both ways, it's like a dual carriageway. If you are of a nice higher vibration, a positive person, an empath, a person who's on a spiritual journey, it's usually the case that people who are lower vibration, and I don't mean that we are better, I just mean that their energy is lower in terms of the frequencies that they carry, might attach to that or cling on to that energy and code us and pull our energy. This is quite classic when you have a friend or a person who will come around and dump on you. They'll talk all about how shit their life is. They'll eat all your biscuits, they'll drink your tea, they'll sit on your sofa. Obviously not when we're in a pandemic, but you get the drift. And then they go and they feel great and you're like, oh, what just happened? I feel so drained. And that feeling of drained can last. And it's often because they've coded you and they are pulling your energy. And we hear that, though it's quite unkind to call people psychic vampires or energy vampires, but it's a really good description because that's what happens. Equally, you can find that if you're coded to someone, you start picking up on their stuff. So you might find that you're suddenly really anxious and you don't know why, or you lack confidence, or you feel an emotion like jealousy that you're not used to. That can be because you're coded to someone who does live in that energy and who is feeling that stuff. So codes can happen in loads and loads of different ways. I generally would say that I know I'm coded when I feel a bit off, when I feel like there's something going on, when I don't feel like myself. The ironic thing is that if you are coded and if your energy is really depleted, sometimes you can't get your energy up high enough to cut that code yourself. But if that happens, you might need help and support, perhaps from someone like me. And I'm going to put the links underneath this video of how I can help you to do that if you want a session with me and you want me to help clear you, or you want a code cutting. But generally speaking, so you feel off, you feel out of sorts, you feel a bit not yourself. It could be a code. So what do you do? So what I do is I try and disconnect the code myself. Now there's lots of stuff about you shouldn't cut cords, the energy is not severed properly, or you leak energy and all this kind of thing. I believe in intention, and again, take what you need. If other people teach this differently and that resonates with you more, that's totally fine. I believe in doing what feels right to you, and there's lots and lots of different ways you can do it. Once you've tuned in and you've found the chord, you can ask how that is removed, and the best way to do it is just, in my opinion, to sit quietly, to center yourself, to take a few nice deep grounding breaths, to ask all parts of you to come into the now time. And you can light a candle if you want to, you can play some soft music if you want to, and always do it with the intention of the greatest and highest good for everyone concerned. Even if someone's coded you, it's not a good idea to send a nasty vibe to that person, because we believe in law of attraction and we know what we give out comes back. So get yourself in a nice peaceful place, and when you've done that, I like to sort of, I shut my eyes and I kind of scan myself and I find out roughly where I think it is, and then I might want to check with a pendulum and I might want to ask, is it here, is it here, is it here? As I've said, classically they can come in at chakra points, but they can be anywhere, so make sure that's in your awareness. And then once I've found it, I would generally ask, what do I need to know? What do I need to know about this code? Is it from a particular person? Is there a lesson here? Is there something that I've done to attract it? Have I coded someone? So I'll ask if there's anything that I need to know, and in my gut feeling I'll generally get what's right. or what I do get, I presume is right anyway, because, you know, our gut is our inner compass. So I get that information, and if there's nothing, I presume that there's nothing that I need to know, and that is okay, and it's just a case of releasing it. So what I do next is I then work out how I need to release it. Sometimes having a bath in salt water and essential oils can help shift it, and you can imagine that all the cords are dissolving into the bath water, and you can let them go down the plug hole. That's a really good way of doing it. Or you can also do a visualization in the shower that they're being dissolved as well. But if that's not going to work, and especially if you're depleted, you might need some more kit. So sometimes crystals can work. This is selenite, and it's gorgeous. That can sometimes work to cut cords. Again, use intention. Some people will say, don't cut them, disconnect them. That's fine. Just ask what it is that you're supposed to be doing, and follow your intuition, and know that you can't get it wrong, really. And if it's about disconnecting them, you can sit and you can visualize yourself actually unscrewing it like a light bulb, or whatever feels appropriate to you. But yeah, you can use a crystal to cut cords as well. You can use oils and essences on your hands if you want to help raise your vibration. And the oils and essences that you might use, obviously some essential oils you can't put directly on your skin, so do check. Lavender you can, for example. I'm not an aromatherapist, little disclaimer, but lavender you can. And lavender's got a vibration of calm. So if the energy cord that's coming into you is one that is not connected to calm, maybe it's one of jealousy or drama, then calm would possibly be a good frequency to introduce to help disconnect it, because it would break the attraction, the match. So that could be an idea. Or you could use something like, I use these Cosbats. It's very, very unlikely you've got these, because I got them when I trained to do kinesiology. They are called cosmic batteries, Cosbats for short. They're what I use to do the group energy work with in my Life and Soul Academy sometimes. But when I do one-to-one sessions with people to cut cords, if you've got a cord that you can't get rid of yourself, I'll ask and I'll test, what do I need? And they will sometimes come up with an essential oil, with a crystal, and a full recipe if it's a really particularly difficult one that I can help you release. But you've possibly got stuff in your energy kit that would help you that I haven't got as well. So just be really open. Ask what it is that you need to do for your greatest and highest good, and for the greatest and highest good of everyone else, in order to release this cord, and then get on and do it. The other thing to mention about cords is you might need to do some repair work in the aura after you've removed a cord. Sometimes that can just be a case of holding your hands over the area, sending in love and light, and just intending, seeing it all heal and come together. You might want to shield and protect. That's fine as well. Use intention, use a bubble up. Imagine or visualize that you're putting mirrors all around your aura, so that you're reflecting back what does not serve you. And the other thing to consider when you're removing cords as well is that I generally give gratitude for the lessons, and I ask that either the angels take them or that they go to the void for recycling, and I'll just imagine that I'm throwing them into the earth, and that they go into the middle of the earth for recycling, because they're energetic. So that's something that I do. Also, it's not selfish to cut cords. We need to get over that. It's actually really, really good, because it helps you and it helps the other person as well, if it's a person that you're corded to, because it helps them to have a clear energy field and you to have a clear energy field, and that's always good. And if you feel super uncomfortable about cutting cords with people, then you can just sit again, take a few deep breaths, center yourself, light a candle if you want to, and just ask that all cords that do not serve you are released. Just that blanket statement, all cords that do not serve you, and the universe will know what they are, and it kind of gets your human self off the hook and feeling a bit icky about, that's a bit mean, I shouldn't cut cords with that person, blah blah blah. So hopefully that's helped in your understanding of etheric cords, and also how you can practically get to grips with releasing them or disconnecting them yourself. Again, some people don't like the idea of cutting, some people are okay with it, some people disconnect, some people, you know, everyone does it differently, and that is totally fine. Find your lane with this. I believe that intention overrides all of it, and as long as it's done for the greatest and highest good for you and someone else, that whatever you do is okay. But as I've said, the only issue that you may come up against is if you have a cord and it's depleted you to the point that you can't release it. If that is the case, look in the link below and get the link that'll take you to my shop, and I'll be able to help you with that. So I hope that's helped, and I look forward to seeing you again soon, and have a great day. Lots of love. Okay, goodbye.